All right, you primitive screwheads, strap yourselves in, because we're blasting off to 1997 when they launched that hunk of junk, the Mars Pathfinder.
Oh yeah, the one they hyped up as faster, better, cheaper.
Yeah, that's the one. And let me tell you, it was a wild ride. We've got a real space case with us today to break down how the hell this thing actually worked.
Hey now.
No time for pleasantries. Let's get down to brass tacks.
The Mars Pathfinder mission was seriously a game changer. This wasn't some half-assed probe they just chucked at the red planet.
Oh, so this was some top-tier shit.
It was a goddamn statement piece. NASA was out to prove they could do more with less, and you know what? They fucking nail it.
All right, let's talk mission specs. This thing was dirt cheap compared to those Viking missions from way back when.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, did they just raid a Radio Shack and duct tape this thing together?
Well, they didn't exactly use bubblegum and paper clips, but the budget was tighter than a gnat's ass. Pathfinder costs 15 times less than those Viking missions.
So they were teaching pennies, huh? That's ballsy. But why the hell did they pick Ares Vallis as the landing spot? It looks as exciting as watching paint dry.
Look, it wasn't about finding a scenic spot for their Instagram. Okay. They picked Ares Vallis because it was like a giant floodplain. Billions of years ago, they think a mega flood ripped through that area.
A flood, like Noah's Ark style.
Bigger even. Imagine a wall of water carrying rocks and debris from all over Mars. It's like a goddamn geological smorgasbord.
So they went rock hunting instead of looking for Martians. Sounds riveting.
Hey, rocks tell stories too. And this landing sequence, it was nuts. They used giant airbags.
Giant airbag? What the hell? Were they scared of scratching the paint or something?
Imagine trying to land a delicate piece of tech on another planet. You're coming in hot, hypersonic speeds, traditional methods. Forget about it. So they came up with this crazy idea, hit the atmosphere, pop the parachute, fire some rockets to slow down, and then bam.
They wrapped the whole damn thing in bubble wrap.
Basically, yeah. The lander tucked itself into these giant airbags to cushion the impact.
That sounds like something Wile E. Coyote would dream up. Did it actually work?
It worked like a charm. The whole thing. Entry, descent, landing. 4 minutes tops. And those airbags, they let the Pathfinder bounce around like a goddamn beach ball. Super innovative stuff for the time.
4 minutes of terror, followed by a Martian bounce house party.
Yeah.
Not bad for a bunch of penny pinchers. Okay, so then we got Sojourner the rover. That tiny little dude was the star of the show.
You know it.
What did it do? Just sit there and look cute.
Sojourner was a trailblazer, the first rover to cruise around on another planet after the moon. It was small, about the size of a microwave oven, and moved slower than molasses in January.
How slow are we talking? Did it measure its speed in millimeters per hour?
Try 1 centimeter per second.
Seriously, that's like watching grass grow. What groundbreaking science could it possibly do at that pace?
Hey, don't underestimate the little guy. It logged over 100 meters, way more than anyone expected. And it had all these cool instruments to analyze rocks and soil. They even gave some of the rocks names. Barnacle Bill, Yogi.
Hold up, did they name a Martian rock after a cartoon bear?
Scientists need to have a little fun too, right?
Fair enough. But those names sound about as scientific as a fart in a spacesuit.
Okay, I'll give you that. But those rocks were important. Barnacle Bill. Turns out it was andesite, like the volcanic rock we have here on Earth. So that's proof positive. Mars had some serious volcanic action going on way back when.
Volcanoes on Mars. That's pretty badass. But didn't this whole mission almost go tits up because of some software glitch?
Yeah, that was a close one. Imagine sending a multi-million-dollar spacecraft millions of miles and almost losing it because of a coding error. Talk about a bad day at the office.
So did some intern forget a semicolon or what?
Not quite that simple. The problem was something called priority inversion. The software was basically getting its priorities all mixed up, causing the lander's computer to reboot over and over again. They were sweating bullets back on Earth.
So imagine your computer crashing on another planet.
No curl plus alt plus delete to save you there. Luckily, they managed to figure out the problem and sent a fix all the way to Mars.
So they basically hacked the system from millions of miles away.
You got it. It was a tense few days, but they pulled it off. That whole ordeal taught them a valuable lesson about the importance of writing good code, especially when you're sending robots to another planet.
Yeah, you don't want your Martian rover going haywire because of a typo.
Yeah.
So they patched the code, the airbags didn't explode, and the little rover didn't get lost.
Yeah.
What'd they learn from this whole chaotic adventure?
Well, for starters, the mission was a huge success. It sent back mountains of data, pictures, measurements of the Martian atmosphere, the whole shebang.
So besides proving they could do more with less, what did all that data actually tell us?
It showed us that Mars wasn't always a barren wasteland. It had a dynamic past, maybe even oceans and rivers.
Whoa, oceans on Mars. Hold the phone.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Blew everyone's mind. Suddenly, Mars wasn't just a dead planet. It was a place with a history, a story to tell. And that's what makes this whole thing so damn exciting. It's about peeling back the layers of time and uncovering the secrets of another world.
All right, I'm hooked. We'll dig deeper into those Martian secrets in part 2 of our deep dive. Stay tuned, you magnificent bastards. This is just the beginning.
Welcome back, you degenerate space cadets. Ready for round 2 of this Martian madness?
Hell yeah. Last time we talked about those crazy airbags and that software snafu that almost sent the whole mission to hell. But enough about that. Let's get to the good stuff. What the hell did Pathfinder actually discover? Did they find any proof that little green men were hiding out in those rocks with the goofy names?
No little green men, unfortunately, but what they did find was even more mind-blowing. Those rocks, Barnacle Bill and Yogi, weren't just given stupid names for shits and giggles. They actually held secrets about Mars's ancient past. Secrets that changed everything we thought we knew about the Red Planet.
All right, lay it on me. What kind of Martian gossip did those rocks spill?
Well, for starters, Barnacle Bill, that andesite rock, it's like a giant flashing neon sign pointing to volcanoes. Imagine massive Martian volcanoes spewing lava and reshaping the whole damn landscape. Talk about a fiery hellscape.
Okay, so Mars had volcanoes. Big whoop. What about Yogi? Did that rock tell us anything interesting?
Oh yeah, Yogi spilled the tea about ancient Martian floods. It's a basalt rock, which means it was formed from cooled lava, but it also had these telltale signs of water erosion. So picture this: billions of years ago, mega floods raging across Mars, carving out canyons and leaving behind all sorts of interesting debris.
So Mars wasn't always a dry, dusty shithole. Was it like a water park planet back in the day? With beaches and shit?
Well, maybe not a water park, but definitely a lot wetter than it is now. We're talking oceans, rivers, the whole 9 yards. It was a completely different world.
Whoa, oceans on Mars. My mind is officially blown. What the hell happened to all that water? Did it just evaporate into space or something?
That's the million-dollar question, and scientists are still trying to figure it out. The leading theory is that Mars lost its magnetic field. You see, a planet's magnetic field acts like a shield protecting its atmosphere from the solar wind.
The solar wind. Sounds like something you'd order at a Taco Bell on Mars.
It's not as tasty as it sounds. The solar wind is a stream of charged particles constantly blasting out from the sun. It's like a cosmic sandblaster slowly stripping away a planet's atmosphere.
So Mars basically got its atmosphere ripped off like a cheap toupee in a hurricane. That's brutal.
Yeah, it's not a pretty picture. Without its atmosphere, Mars lost most of its water and turned into the frozen desert we see today.
Well, at least it still has volcanoes. Volcanoes are fucking awesome. Did Pathfinder see any erupting?
Nah, no erupting volcanoes, but it did collect tons of data about the Martian atmosphere. Temperature, pressure, wind speed. It even saw those crazy dust devils swirling around.
Dust devils. Like those mini tornadoes you see in the desert.
Yep, those are dust devils. They're caused by rising warm air, and on Mars they can get pretty massive. Pathfinder even caught one on camera.
So this little spacecraft survived a crazy landing, dodged a software bullet, and managed to snap pics of Martian weather phenomena. It's like the ultimate overachiever.
It really was. And remember, this was all done on a shoestring budget with technology that's practically ancient by today's standards.
So they basically built the spaceship out of spare parts and duct tape and managed to make groundbreaking discoveries. Talk about resourceful.
The engineers and scientists who worked on Pathfinder were true pioneers. They pushed the limits of what was possible and paved the way for all the rovers we have on Mars today.
Speaking of rovers, how did Pathfinder lead to those fancy-ass robots we have on Mars now? You know, the ones with lasers and shit?
Pathfinder was a crucial first step. It showed that the faster, better, cheaper approach could actually work, and that you didn't need to spend a gazillion dollars to achieve big scientific goals. It also proved that airbag landings were legit, and that you could control a rover from millions of miles away. Those lessons were crucial for later missions, like the Mars exploration rovers and Curiosity.
So Pathfinder was like the scrappy underdog that showed everyone how to do things differently and inspired a whole new generation of Martian explorers.
Exactly. It was a trailblazer, a testament to human curiosity and our insatiable desire to explore the unknown. It showed us that Mars was once a dynamic world with a fascinating past, and it ignited our imaginations about the possibility of life beyond Earth.
Okay, now that's inspiring as hell. But you mentioned Curiosity. That thing's a beast. It's like comparing a toy car to a monster truck.
Yeah.
What's the connection?
True Curiosity is bigger and badder than Sojourner, but it owes a lot to its humble predecessor. Pathfinder proved that rovers could actually function on Mars, collecting data and sending back amazing images. It laid the groundwork for everything that came after.
Okay, I see the family resemblance now. But what about all that data Pathfinder collected? Is it just sitting in some dusty archive, or are scientists still using it today?
That data is pure gold, and scientists are still poring over it today. It's a treasure trove of information about Mars's geology, atmosphere, and climate. And they're constantly comparing it to data from newer missions to get a more complete picture of the red planet.
So even though Pathfinder is long gone, its data is still helping us understand Mars. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
You got it. It's a reminder that even small missions with modest budgets can make a huge impact on our understanding of the universe.
Okay, but let's talk about the conspiracy theorists. Did Pathfinder find any evidence of alien cover-ups or secret government experiments on Mars? You know, the stuff that keeps those guys up at night?
Oh, you know those conspiracy theorists are always cooking up some crazy shit. But seriously, Pathfinder didn't find any evidence of aliens or government conspiracies. What it did do was raise even more questions about the possibility of life on Mars.
So, maybe no little green men, but maybe some tiny Martian microbes hiding out somewhere. I guess the search continues.
Absolutely. The quest to understand Mars and its potential for life is far from over. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll send a mission back to the Pathfinder landing site to see if anything has changed.
That would be amazing. Imagine finding Sojourners still cruising around exploring Mars after all these years.
It's a long shot, but hey, stranger things have happened in space exploration.
All right, folks, that wraps up part 2 of our deep dive into the Mars Pathfinder mission. We've uncovered the secrets of those ancient rocks, delved into the mysteries of the Martian atmosphere, and explored the lasting impact of this groundbreaking mission. But hold on to your butts because we're not done yet. There's still more to uncover, more mysteries to solve, and more mind-blowing facts to share. So stay tuned, you magnificent bastards, for the grand finale of our Martian adventure. Welcome back to the final frontier, you glorious space cadets. We've dug deep into the Pathfinder mission, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But let's get real here. Why the hell are we so obsessed with this dusty red planet? Is it just a cosmic pissing contest, or is there something more to it?
Well, exploring Mars isn't just about bragging rights or scratching that scientific itch. It's about understanding our place in the grand scheme of things. Maybe even finding some alien neighbors and pushing the limits of what humans can do.
Okay, so you're telling me that poking around on Mars is going to give me some deep existential answers. Sounds like a load of cosmic bullshit to me.
Think of it this way. Mars is like Earth's weird cousin. It's similar enough that we can learn a lot about how rocky planets do their thing. By studying Mars, we get clues about how Earth was born, how its climate has gone batshit crazy over time, and even how life itself might have popped up.
So by studying Mars, we're actually learning more about ourselves.
Yeah.
Like staring into a cosmic mirror or some shit.
Exactly. It gives us a whole new perspective on our own little blue marble. Makes you appreciate what we got.
All right, I can dig that. But what about the whole alien thing? Any chance we'll find fossilized Martian bacteria chilling in those rocks?
Pathfinder didn't find any smoking guns, no signs of current or past life, but it did show us that Mars was once a much more happening place. Maybe oceans, rivers, who knows? That means life on Mars, even if it's just microbes hiding underground, is still a real possibility.
So no little green men, just microscopic Martians. That's still pretty damn cool.
Uh-huh.
Imagine being the first to find extraterrestrial life, even if it's just a bunch of single-celled weirdos. Nobel Prize, here we come.
It would be a game changer. It would prove that we're not alone in this crazy universe.
Okay, you've convinced me about the whole life on Mars thing. But what about the technology? Is all this space exploration just an excuse to build bigger rockets and fancier robots?
Of course, space exploration pushes technology forward, but the benefits go way beyond shiny gadgets. These advancements have real-world uses that help everyone.
Okay, give me some examples. What good has come from sending robots to Mars? Besides cool pictures, of course.
Think about the stuff we use every day. Satellite TV, GPS, solar panels, digital cameras, even those scratch-resistant glasses you're probably wearing right now. They all have roots in space exploration, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. The technologies we're developing for future Mars missions, like advanced robotics, life support systems, and resource extraction, will have huge applications here on Earth.
So it's like a domino effect. Pushing the limits in space pushes limits here at home.
You got it. Space exploration.
Okay, I'm feeling all warm and fuzzy inside. But let's be honest. All this space stuff costs a fortune. We're talking billions, right? And we've got a shitload of problems here on Earth. Poverty, hunger, climate change. Shouldn't we focus on fixing those first?
I hear you. It's a valid point. But the amount we spend on space is a drop in the bucket compared to the global economy. And that money isn't just disappearing into a black hole, it's being invested in research, development, education, creating jobs, and boosting the economy.
So investing in space is also investing in ourselves.
You nailed it. It's not a zero-sum game. Expanding our understanding of the universe doesn't mean ignoring the problems here on Earth. It's about finding solutions that benefit everyone, both now and in the future.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. We've covered a lot of ground today. We dug into the Pathfinder mission, from its crazy landing to its groundbreaking discoveries. We talked about the big why behind space exploration, the search for life, the technological leaps, and understanding our place in this vast and mind-boggling universe. But what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from all this?
I want them to remember the sheer audacity of the Mars Pathfinder mission, the brilliance of the people who built it, and the guts it took to send it on its journey. I want them to grasp how this little, relatively cheap mission changed our view of Mars and our place in the universe. But most importantly, I want them to be inspired by the spirit of exploration itself. It's about pushing boundaries, asking the tough questions, and never losing that sense of wonder.
Damn, you're making me want to sign up for astronaut training. All right, folks, remember this. The spirit of Pathfinder is alive and well. Get out there, explore, question everything, and never stop reaching for the stars. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the one designing the next Mars rover or discovering the first signs of alien life. The future is out there, waiting to be explored. And that's a wrap on our epic Mars adventure. Peace out, Space Cadets.